Walker Forge is a 66-year-old company that was started by my grandfather, my late grandfather, Gordon Walker. We employ approximately 500 people in two facilities, at one in Wisconsin and one in Tennessee. We want to give back to the communities in which we operate. We think it's very important. It's part of our philosophy. Any good organization has to have good people. And I think Walker Forge has good people, and I think Prevent Blindness also is lucky enough to have good people. My participation in Prevent Blindness, it's evolved over time. I started out as a co-chair of the golf event, the annual golf event that takes place each year in June. I've continued to sponsor the golf event as the beverage sponsor, which some people might say is perfectly appropriate.
I got involved 20 years ago, first as a committee member for the Celebrity Waiters Dinner, and then later on as a co-chair, and I've been on and off the committee over the last 20 years. And I've also signed up for training to be a vision screener next month, which I'm doing with Molly.
I look at how I got involved in Prevent Blindness, and it was kind of a way to get involved in the community when I first moved here. And I think, whatever it is, whatever the organization is, find something you're passionate about and make a difference.
Will's wife Deb become very active in it, but our daughter Molly, who lives here in town, has volunteered for the organization. All of those children are making a contribution to our community in Milwaukee.
I first became actively involved in Prevent Blindness when it was a result of my son, who was identified as having vision problems during a preschool screening that he underwent at, I think, age 4, maybe. And he came home and with a note that he needed to follow up with the doctor, and my wife took over from there.
I picked him up at preschool, and there was a note in his locker from Prevent Blindness saying that he had not passed the vision screening, and they recommended that I take him to see an eye care professional, which I did immediately. And I was so impressed with the fact that like within a week or two, I received a phone call from the executive director following up to make sure that I had made an appointment with an eye care professional. I believe that he had amblyopia and he needed glasses. Prevent Blindness also uncovered a vision issue for my nephew when he was in preschool as well.
Same preschool, same. And actually, I got involved before my son Henry was caught with his vision screening, but he was at the same preschool that Sam was at, and when Sam was caught, that's kind of what got me involved, because I just thought, as a mother, how scary, as Deb was saying, you take your kids to their checkups every year and you think everything's all good, and then you get this note saying, red flag, and something so basic as vision. I mean, that's what really struck me.
My son's being diagnosed in a screening was the catalyst for my getting involved. It was not really what sustained me. What sustained me is my belief in what Prevent Blindness stands for, what it does for the community, and what it does for our kids.
I think of Prevent Blindness and I think, how many of those kids who aren't succeeding, how many aren't succeeding because they simply can't see? And how many problems could be fixed with something as simple as a pair of glasses?
A child can be, because of a visual problem, can be labeled as having a learning problem, or just labeled period as a slow learner, unjustifiably so.
Yeah.
So this kind of assistance is just so important.
If my son had not been identified, and diagnosed with his eye or vision issues, two things would have happened. Number one, his learning would have been impacted negatively. The other aspect to it is it's not at all clear that that had we acted later, whether we could have corrected the issue. He might have had to wear corrective lenses his whole life.
You screen 215,000 and you catch 20? That's a staggering number.
Screening over 200,000 people a year, 20,000 children will be put on the road to getting the help that they need. And that's it's a beautiful thing.
You take your child for their regular checkups and so on, but I don't know that they're given the eye screening, the type of eye screening that they get with Prevent Blindness.
Volunteering for this organization, this is how this organization runs, through volunteers. And but in addition to that, of course, we've also tried to do our part to support it financially. The donors' dollars go so much further. They aren't going to soak up all kinds of overhead. The dollars are going to move forward the mission of Prevent Blindness, which is screening kids. There are many places around the community where you can support great charities, great organizations, but we feel that Prevent Blindness is very special, and it would be certainly an organization that garners a substantial bit of support from our company and our family.
I think some people step back because they feel that they can't give a financial gift that is significant, where in reality no gift is too small. I mean, that's been said before, but it's true.
And it makes us so happy that when we get the reports at the annual dinner as to how many people have been tested in the Milwaukee and the surrounding communities, and how many people have been identified with needing glasses or needing some form of help. It makes you feel good inside to know that you've given that child something that I believe all children are entitled to, and that's the ability to see and enjoy life.
I think my involvement in Prevent Blindness has just added a richness and just a wonderful dimension to my life, because it's not all work. Your life can't be all work. You have to have interests. You have to have opportunities to give back. These are the things that make life complete. And certainly my involvement in Prevent Blindness is one of those things which, when I look back on my life, I will look back on and say, that was not only fun, but it also mattered. It also made a difference.